Everything you've heard, completely true.
I just hope I can help.
Tell me why we shouldn't kill you now. The Conclave is destroyed. Everyone who attended is dead. Except for you.
What do you mean everyone's dead?
Explain this.
I can't.
What do you mean you can't?
I don't know what that is, or how it got there.
You're lying!
We need her, Cassandra. I can't believe it. All those people. Dead.
Do you remember what happened? How this began?
I remember... running. Things were chasing me, and then... a woman?
A woman?
She reached out to me, but then...
Go to the forward camp, Liliana. I will take her to the rift.
What did happen?
It will be easier to show you. Call it the Breach. It's a massive rift into the world of demons that grows larger with each passing hour. It's not the only such rift, just the largest. All were caused by the explosion at the Conclave.
An explosion can do that?
This one did. Unless we act, the Breach may grow until it swallows the world. Each time the Breach expands, your mark spreads, and it is killing you. It may be the key to stopping this, but there isn't much time.
You say it may be the key. To doing what?
Closing the Breach. Whether that's possible is something we shall discover shortly. It is our only chance, however. And yours.
I understand.
Then...
I'll do what I can. Whatever it takes.
They have decided your guilt. They need it. The people of Haven mourn our most holy, divine Justinia, head of the Chantry. The Conclave was hers. It was a chance for peace between mages and Templars. She brought their leaders together. Now they are dead. We lash out like the sky, but we must think beyond ourselves, as she did. Until the breach is sealed. There will be a trial. I can promise no more. Come. It is not far.
Where are you taking me?
Your mark must be tested on something smaller than the breach.
Alright, let's go.
Open the gate. We are heading into the valley.
Oh, I shouldn't stand on those bodies. That's a little rude. Yeah, they are. Oh. Ow, my hand.
The pulses are coming faster now. The larger the breach grows, the more rifts appear, the more demons we face.
How did I survive the blast?
They said you stepped out of a rift, then fell unconscious. They say a woman was in the rift behind you. No one knows who she was. Everything Stay behind me!
It's over.
Drop your weapon. Now!
Do you really think I need a staff to be dangerous?
Is that supposed to reassure me?
I haven't used my magic on you yet.
You're right. You don't need a staff, but you should have one. I cannot protect you. I should remember you agreed to come willingly. Take these potions. Maker knows what we will face.
Where are all your soldiers?
At the forward camp, or fighting. We are on a... home for now. There! Watch out! If we flank them, we may gain the advantage. Up on the hill. It attacks from a distance. We're getting close to the rift. You can hear the fighting.
Who's fighting?
You'll see soon. We must help them.
Bam.
Before more come through!
What did you do?
I did nothing. The credit is yours.
You mean this?
Whatever magic opened the breach in the sky also placed that mark upon your hand. I theorized the mark might be able to close the rifts that have opened in the breach's wake. And it seems I was correct.
Meaning it could also close the breach itself.
Possibly. It seems you hold the key to our salvation.
Good to know. Here I thought we'd be ass deep in demons forever. Varric Tethras, rogue, storyteller, and occasionally unwelcome tag-along.
Are you with the Chantry, or...?
Was that a serious question?
Technically, I'm a prisoner, just like you.
I brought you here to tell your story to the Divine. Clearly, that is no longer necessary.
Yet, here I am. Lucky for you, considering current events.
It's good to meet you, Varric.
You may even consider that stance in time.
Oh, I'm sure we'll become great friends in the valley, Chuckles.
Absolutely not. Your help is appreciated, Varric, but...
Have you been in the valley lately, Seeker? Your soldiers aren't in control anymore. You need me.
Ugh.
My name is Solus, if there are to be introductions. I am pleased to see you still live.
He means I kept that mark from killing you while you slept.
Then I owe you my thanks.
Thank me if we manage to close the breach without killing you in the process. Cassandra, you should know, the magic involved here is unlike any I've seen. Your prisoner is a mage, but I find it difficult to imagine any mage having such power.
Understood. We must get to the forward camp quickly.
Well... Bianca's excited.
This way, down the bank. The road ahead is blocked.
We must move quickly. Demons ahead.
Glad you brought me now, Seeker?
I don't think I've ever stopped to like look in here, so. Definitely never looked over her. Oh, that's so far off the beaten path here. Know thy enemy, keep items from them.
You are Danish, but clearly away from the rest of your clan. Did they send you here?
What do you know of the Dalish?
I have wandered many roads in my time, and crossed paths with your people on more than one occasion.
We are both of the same people, Solus.
The Dalish I met felt differently on the subject.
Can't you elves just play nice for once? Says, are you alright? So, are you innocent?
I don't remember what happened.
That'll get you every time. Should have spun a story.
That's what you would have done.
It's more believable and less prone to result in premature execution.
Made it through all this.
She's resourceful, Seeker.
We will see for ourselves at the forward camp. We're almost there.
Another rip!
We must seal it! Quickly! They keep coming! Help us! away, Lady Cassandra. We're clear for the moment. Well done.
Whatever that thing on your hand is, it's useful.
Here they come.
You made it. Chancellor Roderick, this is...
I know who she is. As Grand Chancellor of the Chantry, I hereby order you to take this criminal to Val Royeaux to face execution.
Order me? You are a glorified clerk, a bureaucrat.
And you are a thug, but a thug who supposedly serves the Chantry.
We serve the most holy, Chancellor. As you well know.
Justinia is dead! We must elect a replacement and obey her orders on the matter.
Isn't closing the breach the more pressing issue?
You brought this on us in the first place! Call a retreat, Seeker. Our position here is hopeless.
We can stop this before it's too late.
How? You won't survive long enough to reach the temple, even with all your soldiers.
We must get to the temple. It's the quickest route.
But not the safest. Our forces can charge as a distraction while we go through the mountains.
We lost contact with an entire squad on that path. It's too risky.
Listen to me. Abandon this now, before more lives are lost.
How do you think we should proceed?
Use the mountain path. Work together. You all know what's at stake.
Liliana, bring everyone left in the valley. Everyone.
On your head be the consequences, Seeker.
The tunnel should be just ahead. The path to the temple lies just beyond it.
What manner of tunnel is this? A mine?
Part of an old mining complex. These mountains are full of such paths.
And your missing soldiers are in there somewhere?
Along with whatever has detained them.
We shall see soon enough. That cannot be all of them.
So the others could be holed up ahead.
Our priority must be the breach. Unless we seal it soon, no one is safe.
I'm leaving that to our elven friend here.
Lieutenant, you're alive.
Just barely.
Sealed, as before. You are becoming quite proficient at this.
Let's hope it works on the big one.
Thank the Maker you finally arrived, Lady Cassandra. I don't think we could have held out much longer.
Thank our prisoner, Lieutenant. She insisted we come this way.
The prisoner? Then you...
It was worth saving you, if we could.
Then you have my sincere gratitude.
The way into the valley behind us is clear for the moment. Go, while you still can.
At once. Quickly, let's move!
The path ahead appears to be clear of demons as well.
Let's hurry before that changes. Down the ladder. That's the way to the temple.
So, holes in the Fade don't just accidentally happen, right?
If enough magic is brought to bear, it is possible.
But there are easier ways to make things explode.
That is true.
We will consider how this happened once the immediate danger is past.
Temple of Sacred Ashes.
What's left of it?
That is where you walked out of the Fade, and our soldiers found you. They say a woman was in the rift behind you. No one knows who she was.
You're here. Thank the Maker.
Hi, Kenzie. How are you?
This is your chance to end this. Are you ready?
I'll try, but I don't know if I can reach that, much less close it.
No. This rift was the first. And it is
Good, a little tired, but good. Oh, that's good. Hopefully, get some rest the rest of the day.
Now is the hour of our victory. Bring forth the sacrifice.
What are we hearing?
At a guess, the person who created the breach.
I just started this run of Dragon Age. Tonight is D&D, so no rest, but lots of fun. That's what I suppose. Nice. I really still have never done a D&D. I mean, Baldur's Gate, I guess, is like basically Dungeons and Dragons, but I haven't done like the tabletop game ever.
Magic could have drawn on Lyrian beneath.
I think with the right group of people, it would be a lot of fun.
It's evil. Whatever you do, don't touch it.
Keep the sacrifice still.
But we are officially 69 days out from the next Dragon Age game, so of course, got to replay this one before I get to that one. I played this game, I don't know how many times.
What's going on here?
That was your voice. Most Holy called out to you, but...
What's going on here?
We have an intruder. Slay the elf.
You were there! Who attacked? And the Divine, is she... Was this vision true? What are we seeing?
I don't remember.
Echoes of what happened here. The Fade leads to this place. This rift is not sealed, but it is closed, albeit temporarily. I believe that with the mark, the rift can be opened, and then sealed properly and safely. However, opening the rift will likely attract attention from the other side.
Yeah, it's gonna come out on Halloween this year. October 31st. Perfect. And I think the next one looks like it's gonna even have more spooky, scary things. Big demon.
We must strip its defenses. Wear it down. The demon is vulnerable. Now!
The Wrath of Heaven. Hey, we did it. We got through the opening mission.
Oh! I didn't know you were awake. I swear.
Don't worry about it.
I beg your forgiveness and your blessing. I am but a humble servant. You are back in Haven, my lady. They say you saved us. The breach stopped growing, just like the mark on your hand. It's all anyone has talked about for the last 3 days.
Then the danger is over.
The breach is still in the sky, but that's what they say. I'm certain Lady Cassandra would want to know you've wakened. She said, at once.
And where is she?
In the Chantry, with the Lord Chancellor. At once, she said.
Spot to save the game for sure. Patient observations. Vain hope. Someone better at this than me takes over. Vain hope. Someone better at this takes over before the survivor expires. Notes in case. Day 1. Clammy. Shallow breathing. Pulse over fast. Not responsive. Pupils dilated. Mage says her scarring mark is thrumming with unknown magic. Wish we could station a Templar in here just in case. Oh.
That's her. That's the Herald of Andros. Why did Lady Cassandra have her in chains? I thought Seekers knew everything.
I believe Seeker Cassandra would like to speak with you.
That's her. She stopped the breach from getting any bigger.
I heard she was supposed to close it in fire.
Favor be with you.
The Singing Maiden. Have you ever heard the story of a King Bedwyr? Bedwyr, like most kings, was a man of great pride who expected nothing but favor. The best way to achieve this was through fear. After all, those who feared him would never cross him or question his rule. Most importantly, those who feared him would always seek to please him. Bedwyr cultivated terror in his subordinates, the gleeful and unrestrained use of a contraption referred to as the Maiden. The Maiden was a hinged iron cassock as high and wide as deep as a man, with vicious spikes within, meant to pierce through the poor soul locked into it. Bedwyr's Maiden was a prized possession and stood in a place of honor in his throne room, often with a screaming victim inside it. Political rivals, suspected assassins, treasonous ministers, the Maiden consumed them all. But as time passed, more people were given to the Maiden for increasingly trivial offenses. The cook for oversalting the king's food, the page boy for dropping his sword. The Maiden cast a pall over the kingdom, and people prayed for deliverance from their cruel king. Then one day a strange woman rode into the city. She called herself Ember, and was an emissary from a far-off land. Her leaders had heard, she said, of Bedwyr's wisdom and authority, and she sought the king's counsel. The thought that he had earned the adulation of brother kings across the sea made Bedwyr swell with pride, and he granted Ember an audience. They dined and danced, and throughout all, Ember flattered and fawned on the king. At the end of the night, Ember asked to see the maiden, the infamous device that had given Bedwar all his power. The king, giddy with praise, proudly presented Ember with the empty contraction. Ember looked at the maiden, sighed with disappointment, and said, "That does not look terrifying at all. I should have imagined the spikes to be much sharper." Bedwar grew red at her comment and replied, "The spikes are sharp enough. Look at the blood that still clings to them." "But it's so small," said Ember. "Are only children and women its victims?" Bedwar grew redder still and replied, "Of course not. The maiden has devoured many men." Ember shook her head and said to the king, "I do not believe it. Surely no warrior could fear this thing. A man like yourself, tall and muscled, would not fit within." The king laughed and saw a way to prove the merit of the maiden to the Emperor. "I will show how easily a man like yourself could fit," he said. With that, he stepped into the device. But Ember was waiting, and no sooner had Bedwar squeezed himself into the iron casting than Ember slammed it shut on him. Ember took the maiden, with the screaming Bedwar inside, through the castle and down into the city, and the people, finally free from the king's tyranny, cheered and danced to the singing that echoed throughout the streets, until Bedwar was dead, and it finally stopped. A tale often told in the singing maiden tavern. Wow. You know, that's poetic justice right there.
May God be with you.
La 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 la.
Says that the Chantry wants nothing to do with us.
A chant for the departed. The light shall lead her safely through the paths of this world and into the next. For she who trusts in the Maker, fire is her water. As the moth sees light and goes toward flame, she should see fire and go towards light. The veil holds no uncertainty for her, and she will know no fear of death, for the Maker shall be her beacon and her shield, her foundation and her sword. Transfigurations 10:1, often sung by mourners as they light candles. Leave. Oh, who's talking shit? I hear somebody talking shit about me. The Fade. The study of the Fade is as old as humankind. For as long as men have dreamed, we have walked its twisting paths, sometimes catching a glimpse of the city at its heart. Always as close as our own thoughts, but impossibly separated from our world. The Tevinter Imperium once spent vast fortunes of gold, lyrium, and human slaves in an effort to map the terrain of the Fade, an ultimately futile endeavor. Although portions of it belong to powerful spirits, all of the Fade is in constant flux. The Imperium succeeded in finding the desperate and ever-shifting realms of a dozen demon lords, as well as cataloging a few hundred types of spirits before they were forced to abandon the project. The relationship of dreamers to the Fade is complex. Even when entering the Fade through the use of lyrium, mortals are not able to control or affect it. The spirits who dwell there, however, can, and as the Chantry teaches us, the great flaw of the spirits is that they have neither imagination nor ambition. They create what they see through their sleeping visitors, building elaborate copies of our cities, people, and events, which, like the reflections in a mirror, ultimately lack context or life of their own. Even the most powerful demons merely plagiarize the worst thoughts and fears of mortals, and build their realms with no other ambition than to taste life. From Tranquility and the Role of the Fade in Human Culture by First Enchanter Josephus. Founding of the Chantry. Cordelis Draken, king of the city-state of Orlais, was a man of uncommon ambition. In the year -15 Ancient, the young king began construction of a great temple dedicated to the Maker, and declared that by its completion he would not only have united the warring city-states of the south, he would have brought Andrastrian belief to the world. In 3 Ancient, the temple was completed. There, in its heart, Draken knelt before the eternal flame of Andraste and was crowned ruler of the Empire of Orlais. His first act as ever to declare the Chantry as established and Andrastian religion of the Empire. It took 3 years and several hundred votes before Alicia of Montesimard was elected to lead the new Chantry. Upon her coronation as divine, she took the name Justinia, in honor of the disciple who recorded Andrastri's songs. In that moment, the ancient era ended and the divine age began. From Ferelden Folklore and History by Sister Petrine, Chantry Scholar. There's a road. The Maker. There was no word for heaven or for earth, for sea or sky. All that existed was silent. And then the voice of the Maker rang. The first word, and the word became all that was dream and idea, hope and fear, and from it made his firstborn. And he said to them, In my image I forged you. To you I give dominion over all that exists. By your will may all things be done. Then in the center of heaven he called forth a city with towers of gold, streets with music for cobblestones, and banners which flew without wind. There he dwelled, waiting to see the wonders his children would create. The children of the Maker gathered before his golden throne and sang hymns of praise unending. But their songs were the songs of the cobblestones. They shone with the golden light reflected from the Maker's throne. They held forth the banners that flew on their own. And the voice of the Maker shook the fade, saying, In my image I have wrought my firstborn. You have been given dominion over all that exists. By your will all things are done. Yet you do nothing. The realm I have given you is formless, ever-changing. And he knew he had wrought amiss. So the Maker turned from his firstborn and took from the Fade a measure of its living flesh and placed it apart from the spirits and spoke to it, saying, Here I decree opposition in all things, for earth sky, for winter summer, for darkness light. By my will alone is balance sundered and the world given new life. And no longer was it formless, ever-changing, but held fast and mutable, with words for heaven and for earth, sea and sky. At last did the Maker from the living world make men, immutable as the substance of the earth, with souls made of dream and idea, hope and fear, endless possibility. Then the Maker said, To you, my second-born, I grant this gift, and your heart shall burn in an unquenchable flame, all-consuming and never satisfied. From the fate I crafted you, and to the fate you shall return, each night in dreams, that you may always remember me. And then the Maker sealed the gates of the golden city, and there he dwelled, waiting to see the wonders his children would create. Canticle of Threnodius 5:1-8. The children of Andraste. There are many misconceptions regarding Andraste's bloodline, monsieur. This is due. This is true, I should think, to a general lack of knowledge regarding Andraste's mortal life. Understandable, considering the many cults that arose following her death. Everyone sought to claim Our Lady for their own culture or claim some aspect of her existence was a lie. All of them complete fabrications. My order has done considerable research to ascertain the truth. We know Andraste and the Betrayer raised 5 children. The eldest 3 were sons, Isarath and Varan and Varald. The rule of what was once southern Tevinter was split among them. Aesarath was given the west, what is today Orlais. Evrion was given the east, what is today the Free Marshes. Veilguard was given the central Planocene, what is today Navarra. What became of these men and their leagues is the stuff of legend, and the majority of claimants to Andraste's bloodline link back to one of them. None of the three sons, however, were born of Andraste. They were born of the betrayer's concubine, Gilevan. People chose to overlook the fact that Andraste came from the Alamari tribesmen and that they were barbarians, not the Ferelden's we know today. They were savage warriors who took concubines in addition to their wives, and because Andraste was thought to be too weak to bear children, the betrayer took Gilevan to provide him heirs, which she did. After her death, the sons were raised as Andraste's own. Later in life, Andraste proved predictions wrong and had two daughters by the betrayer, Ebris and Vivial. They were kept out of the public eye and not permitted to marry, though both had consorts. Ebris had but one child, Ali Vamar, who perished on a voyage to Denerim, less than a month after her mother fell to plague, and without children of her own. The younger daughter, Vivial, was more controversial, a strong-headed woman who defied her family by falling in love with a mage of Tevinter, Regulon. Vivial and Regulon went into self-imposed exile as the Exalted March began, and into hiding following Andraste's betrayal and murder. What became of Vivial and her descendants is largely unknown for one primary reason. She only had daughters. Each of those daughters only had daughters. They married into other families and took their names, and in the chaos of the Second Blight, all traces of survivors were lost. Andraste's true bloodline, if it exists, lies solely in the descendants of Vivial, and the suspicion of my order is that it only produces daughters. Thus the claims of our young man, Monsieur, are highly suspect. From a letter by Sister Galena of the Augustan Order, Dragon 912. Well, there you go.
Yes. Good.
Who said that? Oh.
I believe Seeker Pentagast was looking for you.
I know she's looking for me.
Chain her! I want her prepared for travel to the capital for trial.
Disregard that and leave us.
You walk a dangerous line, Seeker.
The breach is stable, but it is still a threat. I will not ignore it.
I did everything I could to close the breach. It almost killed me.
Yet you live. A convenient result insofar as you're concerned.
Have a care, Chancellor. The breach is not the only threat we face.
Someone was behind the explosion at the Conclave. Someone Most Holy did not expect. Perhaps they died with the others, or have allies who yet live.
I am a suspect?
You, and many others.
But not the prisoner.
I heard the voices in the temple. The Divine called to her for help.
So her survival, that thing on her hand, all a coincidence?
Providence. The Maker sent her to us in our darkest hour.
You realize I'm an elf. A Dalish elf.
I have not forgotten. No matter what you are or what you believe, you are exactly what we needed when we needed it.
The breach remains, and your mark is still our only hope of closing it.
This is not for you to decide.
You know what this is, Chancellor. A writ from the Divine, granting us the authority to act.
This big book says we could do what we want.
I declare the Inquisition reborn. We will close the breach, we will find those responsible, and we will restore order, with or without your approval.
This is the Divine's directive. Rebuild the Inquisition of old. Find those who will stand against the chaos. We aren't ready. We have no leader, no numbers. And now, no Chantry support.
But we have no choice. We must act now, with you at our side.
If you're truly trying to restore order...
That is the plan.
Help us fix this, before it's too late.
Do you think the mages will be able to seal the breach?
I heard something.
When will you be able to get us the crafting supplies we need?
When they're ready. If you're here to clean, Hess can get you a bucket and a broom. Anyone calls you knife here, come to me. Oh, you're her. Thren. Inquisition Quartermaster. I'm doing what I can to supply this mess. If you find what I need to fill one of my requisitions, I'd appreciate you bringing it in.
What do you do here?
I make sure the Inquisition troops have food in their bellies and iron in their hands. Both are important. Lots of people expecting us to be heroes, marching all day to fight the demons. Turns out heroes need to dig latrines just like everyone else.
How does someone end up as quartermaster for the Inquisition?
I served for Eldon under Ten Loghain MacTier. Best commanding officer this world has ever seen. After they all turned on him at Denerim, though, there wasn't much use for people who held that opinion. Queen Honora offered my services to the Inquisition. It was a kindness, She knew I supported her father and got me away from the political garbage.
Your loyalty to the man you served is admirable, Quartermaster.
Thank you. A lot of people seem to think they know what happened at Ostagar, but I was there. Tern Loghain never betrayed his king. If he brought the reinforcements, Darkspawn would have just killed everyone. He did what he had to do to save our country, and we betrayed him. I apologize. Sister Liliana told me I shouldn't talk about this. Just forget it.
What did you mean when you mentioned requisitions?
I'm making this Inquisition run with what we have, but we're not a real army. We're stretched thin on materials, so I've put up a requisition list for anything that could help our people. Here, take a look. You find some iron and a good logging site, maybe Harrick can get our troops better weapons.
If I have material for a special order, do I bring it to you?
Just take it over there. One of my boys will take the materials or jot down what you found.
Farewell.
Make her go with you.
The chosen of Andraste, a blessed hero sent to save us all.
Am I riding in on a shining steed?
I would have suggested a griffon, but sadly they're extinct. Joke as you will, posturing is necessary. I've journeyed deep into the Fade in ancient ruins and battlefields to see the dreams of lost civilizations. I've watched as hosts of spirits clash to reenact the bloody past in ancient wars both famous and forgotten. Every great war has its heroes. I'm just curious what kind you'll be.
Like, Solus is definitely that guy that worked at Hollywood Video and was really into philosophy and was always like, we're living in the Matrix.
What do you mean, ruins and battlefields?
Any building strong enough to withstand the rigors of time has a history. Every battlefield is steeped in death. Both attract spirits. They press against the veil, weakening the barrier between our worlds. When I dream in such places, I go deep into the Fade. I can find memories no other living being has ever seen.
You fall asleep in the middle of ancient ruins. Isn't that dangerous?
I do set wards. And if you leave food out for the giant spiders, they are usually content to live and let live.
I was just saying that, like, Solus is like that guy that worked at Hollywood Video that was like always talking about philosophy, you know, like that guy. Like, it doesn't have to be Hollywood. I mean, he could work at like whatever job, but he, you know, he's definitely like into Nietzsche and you know, yeah, there you. I'm glad you see it too.
I imagine you find some amazing things in there, alongside all the demons.
Exactly. It is occasionally dangerous, yes. But more often it's just sad to see what has been lost. The thrill of finding remnants of a 1,000-year-old dream? I would not trade it for anything. I will stay there. At least until the breach has been closed.
Was that in doubt?
I am an apostate mage surrounded
Donnie
by
Darko's like the best movie. It's so deep you wouldn't understand.
Cassandra has been accommodated.
Oh
You
man.
understand my caution.
I'm like, no, actually, it's a good movie, but it was not that hard to grasp either.
Cassandra trusts you. She won't let anyone put you into a circle against your will.
Thank you. I appreciate the thought. But now let us hope either the mages or the Templars have the power to seal the breach.
What's in your room, Solus? Okay, some pots, some pans, there's a helped on the wall. Nice bed sheets, though. Oh, just some folded up rags on the bed. What were you doing in here? Some kind of a pig thing head? Huh. Trying to really look at the details. Take my time this time. Oh, bunch of fruits and veggies. That's where they really must have had to import this corn and tomatoes and stuff because we are up in the snow.
Thank you for...
Look who's back from the dead. Again.
I don't recall meeting you before.
I'd be surprised if you did. You weren't particularly coherent. Someone had to patch you up after you staggered out of making knows where, though. So, you're welcome.
I didn't realize. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you can pay me back by fixing the world. Name's Adan. I'm in charge of keeping our little band here stocked with potions and elixirs. Not that Seeker Pentagast seems to care whether we've got the supplies to actually do that.
How are your people holding up?
There's no shortage of work. That's for damn sure.
Right? They're like, ugh, we just don't have anything. And then, yeah, literally fresh vegetables, furs, luxury stuff everywhere.
Is there anything I can do to help out?
We're fine as far as raw labor goes. You've more important things to do than tend to me. I only wish I'd been able to find Master Tajan's notes. Old bastard was working on something special. He died at the Conclave, and his notes weren't here. Been too busy dealing with the wounded to look for them.
How do I go about having potions made?
Just take a look there and tell me what you'd like. Find a recipe for something better, I can make that too. Let me know if you need anything. Just right. You're back. And in one piece.
How are your people holding up?
There's no shortage of work. That's for damn sure.
Farewell.
Patient observation state 2. Pulse normal, breathing normal, still unresponsive. Careful drop feed of prep. Alpha extract to hasten her recovery. A lot of thrashing, mutters about too many, something about the gray. Encouraging? The Randy Dowager Quarterly, a well-worn quarterly missive of suspect virtue. The Randy Dowager welcomes the cool of autumn with the fall of another, the collected dreams of desire, being the confessions of an apprentice in training more furrowing than harrowing, forbidden dalliances at their most spirited. The Randy Dowager, exhibitions for the noble of thought but spry of step. The lady herself says, enchanting, one supports the circles, if only because closed doors offer the imagination more. 3 scarves fluttered in shock out of 5.
Closing the breach is our primary goal, but I hope we might also discover what was used to create it. Any artifact of such power is dangerous. The destruction of the Conclave proves that much.
You don't think whatever created the explosion was destroyed in the blast?
You survived, did you not? The artifact that created the breach is unlike anything seen in this age. I will not believe it destroyed until I see the shattered fragments with my own eyes.
We would do well to try to recover whatever created the breach.
Liliana's people have scoured the area near the blast and found nothing. Whatever the artifact was, it is no longer there. In any case, did you need me for anything?
I'd like to know more about you, Solus.
Why?
You're an apostate, yet you risked your freedom to help the Inquisition.
Not the wisest course of action when framed that way.
I appreciate the work you're doing, Solus. I just wanted to know more about you.
I'm sorry. With so much fear in the air. What would you know of me?
What made you start studying the Fae?
I grew up in a village to the north. There was little to interest a young man, especially one gifted with magic. But as I slept, spirits of the Fade showed me glimpses of wonders I had never imagined. I treasured my dreams. Being awake, out of the Fade, became troublesome.
Did spirits try to tempt you?
No more than a brightly colored fruit is deliberately tempting you to eat it. I learned how to defend myself from more aggressive spirits, and how to interact safely with the rest. I learned how to control my dreams with full consciousness. There was so much I wanted to explore.
I gather you didn't spend your entire life dreaming.
No. Eventually, I was unable to find new areas in the Fade.
Why?
2 reasons. First, the Fade reflects the world around it. Unless I traveled, I would never find anything new. Second, the Fade reflects and is limited by our imaginations. To find interesting areas, one must be interested.
Is this why you joined the Inquisition?
I joined the Inquisition because we were all in terrible danger. If our enemies destroy the world, I would have nowhere to lay my head while dreaming of the Fade.
I wish you luck.
Thank you. In truth, I've enjoyed experiencing more of life to find more of the Fade.
How so?
You train your will to control magic and withstand possession. Your indomitable focus is an enjoyable side benefit. You have chosen a path whose steps you do not dislike because it leads to a destination you enjoy. As have I.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Yeah, you can get like romance dialogue options with Solus basically right away there.
Yeah, 'cause I've never heard any of that.
Nope,
get you anything?
What can you tell me about this area?
Adarna's Haven's apothecary. He's been making potions and tending to the wounded as best he can. Harris is the Inquisition smith. Whatever he can make you, Thren the quartermaster can probably find. And for anything fancier, you can try buying from Segret. His prices aren't too high. Yes? Oh, there's also Minave. She studies beasts and things, as I understand.
Farewell.
Goodbye.
That's weird. The Tale of the Frostbacks. Even mountains had a heart once. When the world was young, Korth the Mountain Father kept his throne at the peak of Alenus, the mountain at the center of the world, from which he could see all the corners of the earth and sky. And he saw strong men become weak, brave men grow cowardly, and wise men turn foolish for love. Korth devised a plan that he might never be betrayed by his own heart, by taking it out and hiding it where no soul would ever dare search for it. He sealed it inside a golden cask, buried it in the earth, and raised around it the fiercest mountains the world had ever seen, the Frostbacks, to guard it. But without his heart, the Mountain Father grew cruel. His chest was filled with bitter mountain wind that shrieked and howled like lost souls. Food lost its flavor, music had no sweetness, and he lost all joy in deeds of valor. He sent avalanches and earthquakes to torment the tribes of men. Gods and men rose against him, calling him a tyrant. But with no heart, Korth could not be slain. Soon there were no heroes left, either among men or gods, who would dare challenge Korth. The Lady of the Skies sent the best of her children, the swiftest, the cleverest, and strongest flyers, to scour the mountains for the missing heart, and for a year and a day they searched. But sparrow and raven, vulture and eagle, swift and albatross returned to her with nothing. Then the Tamagarian spoke up and offered to find the god chief's heart. The other birds laughed for the Tamagarian. Ptarmigan is a tiny bird, too humble to soar, which spends half its time hopping along the ground. The lady would not give the little creature her blessing, for the mountains were too fierce even for the eagles. But the Ptarmigan went out anyway. The little bird traveled deep into the Frostbacks where she could not fly. She crawled. She hugged the ground and weathered the most mountain wind, the worst mountain winds, and so made her lonely way to the valley where the heart beat. With all the gods' terrible deeds, the heart was far too heavy for the tiny bird to carry, so she rolled it, little by little, out of the valley and down a cliff, and when the golden cask struck the earth, it shattered. The heart was full almost to bursting, and the pain of it roused the mountain god to see what had happened. When Korth neared his heart, it leapt back into his chest, and he was whole again. Then Hakon Winter's Breath bound Korth's chest with 3 bands of iron and 3 bands of ice, so it could never again escape. And all the remaining gods named the Ptarmigan, honored above even the loftiest eagles. The Ptarmigan and Avar Tale from Ferelden Folklore and the History of Sister Petrine Chantry Scholar. Resources found here: elf root, iron.
So, now that Cassandra's out of earshot, are you holding up all right? I mean, you go from being the most wanted criminal in Thedas to joining the armies of the faithful. Most people would have spread that out over more than one day.
I have no idea what's happening anymore.
That makes 2 of us. For days now, we've been staring at the breach, watching demons and maker knows what fall out of it. Bad for morale would be an understatement. I still can't believe anyone was in there and lived.
If it was that bad, why did you stay? Cassandra said you were free to go.
I like to think I'm as selfish and irresponsible as the next guy, but this... Thousands of people died on that mountain. I was almost one of them. And now there's a hole in the sky. Even I can't walk away and just leave that to sort itself out.
It's pure luck that I escaped.
Good luck or bad? You might want to consider running at the first opportunity. I've written enough tragedies to recognize where this is going. Heroes are everywhere. I've seen that. But the hole in the sky, that's beyond heroes. We're going to need a miracle.
Andraste's Mabari. You know Andraste's old Mabari. He don't show up in the chant. And if you ask those holy sisters, well, they'll say Andraste can't. I've had some big old smelly war dog, but all for Alden knows it right. Our sweet lady needs someone who would warm her feet at night. And there's Andraste's Mabari by the holy prophet's side. In the fight against Teventer, that dog would never hide. They say the Maker sent him special, always loyal without pride, so he could be the sworn companion of the Maker's holy bride. Oh, that dog, he guards Andraste without arrogance or fear, only asking of his mistress just a scratch behind the ears. But then old Mothroth gets to plotting, tries to lure that dog away, but even as they trap the prophet, Mabari never strays. There's Andraste's Mabari by the holy prophet's side. In the fight against Teventer, that dog would never hide. They always say the Maker sent him special, always loyal, without pride, so he could be the sworn companion of the Maker's holy bride. Oh, they thought the wounds had killed him, but then he leapt out toward the fire, and Tessarion he shed a tear as the dog laid upon the pyre. And there's Andraste's Mabari by the holy prophet's side. In the fight against the dog would never hide. They say the Maker sent him special, always loyal, without pride, so he could be the sworn companion of the Maker's holy bride. Oh, yes, that Mabari is the companion of the Maker's holy bride, but popular, if historically unlikely, for Eldon Tavern's fire.
For she who trusts in the Maker, fire is her water. As the moth sees light and goes towards flame, she should see fire and go towards light. For she who trusts in the Maker, fire is her.
Chest.
How could that great breach not have been picked by the mages?
It is reasonable to believe that magic was involved.
Good day. Or good as it can be with the sky ripped apart.
You must speak with most everyone here. How are people doing?
Hope and fear in equal measure. No one really knows what it means when an Inquisition is called. Yet. I imagine it's no better for you. You've got my sympathies, for what it's worth.
What kind of person stays to run a shop at a time like this?
The kind with nowhere else to go. These blasted demons destroy most of my goods. If I stay here, work some contacts, I can start rebuilding. Maybe, just maybe, help you folks out in the process.
Can I see what you have for sale?
Of course. My wares are at the table.
Equipment. They're not laying siege to anything.
Construction orders. As you know, through the terrible accidents of last week, many passages through the mountain are unstable and liable to collapse at any moment. I do not wish to lose more brothers and sisters in the search for lost cultist treasure. We must seal all entrances into the mountain. The Templars have done a careful sweep of the caves. Everything of worth was collected. What remains of the disciples of Andraste will be forgotten, buried in the earth. Once it is done, let us have no more talk of them. This is a new haven, restored to life by the true Chantry and most holy Justinia by Mother Florentine.
That's an excellent point, Recruit. But if someone comes to lay siege to us, perhaps it will be best for us to have some means to fight back.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Siege equipment and data. Siege equipment and data. Siege weaponry has been used in Thedas for centuries, with primitive equipment used as far back as the Third Blight. Nevertheless, it occupies a peculiar niche in the tools of warfare due to its requirements. Any army wishing to produce trebuchets or catapults must be funded and organized well enough to procure both the necessary materials and the military experts to construct them. Throughout history, most armies who fulfilled such requirements did not take advantage of the situation. During the Third Blight, for example, Arlesians and Montesamard constructed catapults to fling flaming debris at the Darkspawn, but the expense of the weapons did not justify the limited damage they caused. And the Darkspawn were ultimately driven back by the Grey Wardens, not siege weaponry. Defensive forces similarly had the resources to construct siege weapons when attacking the free marches or defending themselves against the exalted marches of the Black Age. Instead, the Imperium focused primarily upon the power of its magisters, who were less powerful but far more flexible than siege equipment, and could more easily fall back when the tide of the battle turned. As a result, the battles against the Qunari in the Steel Age, generals found to their chagrin that the great Oxmen had left them behind. Qunari black powder is, most military experts agree, not magic. It is merely an advanced alchemy that makes their cannons more effective than any trebuchet could ever be. Nevertheless, there remains hope. As centuries have passed since the last Blight, any mages are now safely held in the circles where they harm none. The experts of Ferelden and Orlais may once again turn their great minds to learning. We need no magic, not where the minds of men survive unfettered. With our resources and our commitment to knowledge, we can easily surpass the brutal Qunari on the field of battle. from Kuhn, Gurns, and Steel. Military conflict in a post-Blight that is written. 929 Dragon, shortly before the start of the 5th Blight.
Who are we fighting anyway, sir? I've heard it was mages, demons. No one really knows.
That's the Maker's truth. All you need to know is that we're holding this place against whoever comes to take it.
These truths the Maker has revealed to me. As there is but one God, one life, one death.
If the Inquisition wants to field a decent cavalry, it needs better horses. I heard Seeker Pentagast might try to acquire suitable mounts from Master Derek.
Expected you'd be by. I'm Harriet, and everyone knows who you are. How's the new gear fit?
Sturdy and warm. It's perfect.
Good. World's gone mad. Stock armor and blades are good against bandits, but we're not fighting bandits. My gear will see you through demons, apostates, whatever this world throws at you. So, you need custom work, something special. You bring the materials to us, we'll make it happen.
How did you come to be here?
Come from a little town called Lothering. Long gone now. I was in Redcliffe when the Darkspawn hit it during the Blight. Helped rebuild. Left when royalty decided it was time to hand the place over to the bloody mages. Ended up here. Just missed the boom. Can't decide if I'm the luckiest son of a bitch walking or the exact opposite.
You're still walking. That's always good.
True enough.
Can you help improve my arms and armor?
Yes. You find a new piece, a pauldron or greaves, we'll take care of you. You can't just slap a new hilt on your sword in the field. Bring it here, we'll make sure it's done right and proper.
Goodbye.
Right.
There must be something here.
see reason, Lisette.
Yes?
We cannot stay here.
You're not going to rejoin the Order?
When the temple went up, your forces rescued those few of us still alive. My life is a debt I intend to repay, however I can.
I'd like your take on the Templar Order.
It's a shadow of what it was. Where once we both protected all people from the dangers of magic, we now posture and grab at power. One day, I hope the circles are again sanctuaries where mages can practice their craft.
Do you have any idea what caused the explosion?
No, I'm just a recruit. Belief and faith doesn't get you closer to the important meetings. Though that distance did save my life.
I will talk to you later.
Walk in the Maker's grace.
Greetings.
Patient observations day 3. Less thrashing, some response to stimulus. Vitals seem solid. 2 attempts by far by locals to break into the chantry to kill my patient. All this work to save her life, and will they just execute her? Will inform Lady Cassandra I expect her to wake before the morning.
You dislike the Templar system? No. I know their purpose, but you remember
Trust in the Maker. Fire is her.
I did not. prisoners learned fear, and the jailers cruelty. But the Templars served the Chantry until we asked them to be less.
Does it trouble you?
It's stopped spreading, and it doesn't hurt.
We take our victories where we can. What's important is that your mark is now stable, as is the breach. You've given us time, and Solas believes a second attempt might succeed, provided the mark has more power. The same level of power used to open the breach in the first place. That is not easy to come by.
Hi, Gooby Gumdrop. How are you doing? And thank you for that subscription. Wow, you are on a 5-month streak subscription. Congrats. Good. Happy to be here. Nice, nice. Well, welcome on in. I'm just playing some Dragon Age Inquisition because we are officially 69 days out till Dragon Age the Veilguard, which I'm very excited for. It's going to be coming out on Halloween, October 31st, so very excited.
Couldn't that kind of power just make things worse?
People call me a pessimist.
I've never played Dragon Age, but I've heard good things. Is it similar to Baldur's Gate?
Cullen, leader of the Inquisition's forces.
Such as they are. We lost many soldiers in the valley, and I fear many more before this is through.
This is Lady Josephine Montelier, our ambassador and chief diplomat.
Anderan Atishan.
You speak Elven? You've just heard the entirety of it, I'm afraid.
And of course, you know Sister Liliana.
My position here involves a degree of...
She is our spy master.
Yes, tactfully put, Cassandra.
Yeah, I would say it's got some similarities to Baldur's Gate. It's definitely in like that kind of overall like genre. It's not turn-based, so it's not like Dungeons and Dragons as a video game. That would be like one of the big differences. But as far as like kind of similar like storytelling, I would say, and world building to Baldur's Gate. But yeah, this one's really fun. You have, your missions where you can go and fight and stuff, and then you can also do a lot of story things, story quests. There's a lot of like romance options in this game as well. So again, similar. Yeah, I guess there's a lot of similarities to Baldur's Gate. It was funny when Baldur's Gate came out. I was like, okay, this is gonna be like helping tide me over until the next Dragon Age game, because it's been almost like 10 years or so for this one. When did this one come out? It's probably like 8 years or something.
2014, so it's been 10 years.
Yeah, so this for this game being 10 years old, it doesn't
more power to close the breach for good.
Which means we must approach the rebel mages for help.
And I still disagree. The Templars could serve just as well.
We need power, Commander. Enough magic poured into that mark.
Might destroy us all. Templars could suppress the breach. Weaken it, so...
Pure speculation.
I was a Templar. I know what they're capable of.
Unfortunately, neither group will even speak to us yet.
The Chantry has denounced
Yes,
the
there
Inquisition.
is there's romance in this game.
They still think I'm guilty. That is not the entirety of it any longer.
So I've done a playthrough where I romanced her.
That frightens the Chantry. The remaining clerics have declared it blasphemy, and we heretics for harming you.
Chancellor Roderick's doing, no doubt.
It limits
I'm
our
trying to
options.
remember all the
Approaching
romance
Mage's old temple
paths I've done.
is currently out of the question.
Just how am I the Herald of Andraste?
People saw what you did at the temple, how you stopped the breach from growing. They have also heard about the woman seen in the rift when we first found you. They believe that was Andraste.
Even if we tried to
Yeah, so it's made by the same people that made Mass Effect.
The point is, everyone is talking about you.
It's quite the title, isn't it? How do you feel about that?
It's a little unsettling.
I'm sure the Chantry would agree.
People are desperate for a sign of hope. For some, you're that sign. And to others, a symbol of everything that's gone wrong.
They aren't more concerned about the breach, the real threat.
They do know it's a threat, but they just don't think we can stop it.
The Chantry is telling everyone you'll make it worse. There is something you can do. A Chantry cleric by the name of Mother Giselle has asked to speak to you. She is not far and knows those involved far better than I. Her assistance could be invaluable.
I'll see what she has to say.
You will find Mother Giselle tending to the wounded in the hinterlands near Redcliffe.
Look for other opportunities to expand the Inquisition's influence while you're there.
We need agents to extend our reach beyond this valley, and you're better suited than anyone to recruit them.
In the meantime, let's think of other options. I won't leave this all to the Herald.
Chancellor Roderick came to speak with me. Could you try not to antagonize him?
If I offend the man so easily, perhaps he should try leaving me alone.
Scout the Hinterlands. We avoided the fighting as best we could. It's every bit as bad as we feared. The apostates are mad, attacking anything that moves, and it appears that the Templars here aren't following anyone's order any longer. We located Mother Giselle and are trying to protect her, but she refuses to leave the refugees until we've ensured their safety. That will be hard to do without troops to push the apostates and the Templars out of the area. Commander Cullen asked me to make inquiries of Master Dennett, a retired horse master of Redcliffe who lives in the area. We tried to contact him about obtaining better horses for the Inquisition, but we've been unable to get through the fighting. Lead Scout Harding. Yet. Operations. You now have access to missions. Missions operations take time to bring the resources and rewards. Only one mission per advisor can be active at a time. Some missions have a preferred type, which results in less time required when undertaken by associated advisors. Like, let's see. Oh, I've like never actually looked at this codex. Have you looked into this, the codex, before?
No.
Right? It's like, oh, all this information about these characters. They're little like cards. Like, oh, okay, that's really cool. Yeah, there's like all the. So this is where you get like all the like extra like item description stuff. Lore. Okay, we're gonna have to definitely look through some. These are cool. See, I've played this game like multiple times. I've never. Oh, and look at that! You can bring them up big. All of them. That's so cool. Because usually you just see these on like loading screens and stuff, but yeah, these are yeah, I really love the art on all these. Okay, I'm gonna have to come back and read a bunch of this stuff for sure. Let's, huh. I recently played the Quarry a few times though, and you can collect tarot card. Oh, cool. Yeah, Gene's brothers played that game, The Quarry. So I've seen part of it. I've like watched some of it. Oh yeah, because then you get the cards. Remembering that. Oh, you know what? Let me save. I was like, I'm curious if Cullen's going to be out here now that I've met him at the war table.
Yeah, he's like in. He's like by his. Oh no.
You there. There's a shield in your hand. Block with it. If this man were your enemy, you'd be dead. Lieutenant, don't hold back. The recruits must prepare for a real fight, not a practice one.
Yes, Commander.
We've received a number of recruits. Locals from Haven and some pilgrims. None made quite the entrance you did.
At least I got everyone's attention.
That you did. I was recruited to the Inquisition in Kirkwall myself. I was there during the Mage Uprising. I saw firsthand the devastation it caused. So, Cassandra sought a solution. When she offered me a position, I left the Templars to join her cause. Now it seems we face something far worse.
You left the Templars for this. You believe the Inquisition can work?
I do. The Chantry lost control of both Templars and Mages. Now they argue over a new Divine while the breach remains. The Inquisition could act when the Chantry cannot. Our followers would be part of that. There's so much we can...
Forgive me. I doubt you came here for a lecture.
No, but if you have one prepared, I'd love to hear it.
Another time, perhaps.
Oh. Oh, my teeth were really clipping through my face there.
Commander, Sir Ryden has a report on our supply lines.
As I was saying.
I'm trying to remember it's Colin this time. Like, he's straight, so I have to do it as a woman.
Yes.
I should get to know you better. We are working together after all.
What would you like to know?
All right. Where are you from?
How to act for Eldon. My esteemed Lady Sedona, I'd like to take full responsibility for Lady Marchlet's odd behavior of late. You see, we recently began the study of history. I thought that it would do the young mistress some good to be exposed to all the Dosian culture, and not just Orlais. It was a foolish thought. Regrettably, your dear daughter has taken a particular interest in Ferelden folklore. She first developed an affinity for King Calenhad, which seemed to have devolved into borderline infatuations. He stared at me eyes wide when I told how he unified the barbarians with allegedly incomparable might and charisma. Every time I tried to move a lesson onto something more important, she insisted I tell her again about Calenhad, how the Ferelden say his hair was twice as yellow as the sun and his chin more chiseled than the tallest peak in the Frostbacks. Twice now I've had to tear down drawings she's tacked up in her bedroom of the man shirtless. Then we moved on to the werewolves, which was even worse. As we already know, the Fereldans venerate the folk hero Dane and Haftar. Dane was said to have been a werewolf, and Haftar to have descended from one. No enlightened man or woman could ever view such beast people with anything but revulsion. But you know Fereldans and their love of wildlife. Unfortunately, the tales of the wolfmen set the little mistress's imagination afire. When she suggested we put on a play for you and her lord father, I could not say no. I'm afraid that's why Marshall was running through the mansion, wearing wet furs and frightening the chambermaids. She was rehearsing a scene in which Haftar drives back the Darkspawn. I've been informed that some priceless family heirlooms were destroyed amidst all the confusion, and I cannot fully express my dismay. I understand my abject failure to tutor results in my immediate dismissal. A letter from Brother Bernard to his former father.
I grew up in Ferelden near Homewood. I was transferred to Kirkwall shortly after the Blight.
I don't know why that randomly popped up during this conversation.
You haven't seen Ferelden in 10 years. Are you glad to be back?
I was not sorry to leave at the time. I did not expect to return. Now, between the Divine's murder and the breach, I've arrived to find nothing but chaos.
Varric from Kirkwall. Did you two know each other?
I knew he was friends with the champion of Kirkwall, but little else. We've spoken more since I joined the Inquisition, largely as Varric's assistants. Apparently, I spend too much time with a serious expression on my face, and it's bad for my health.
You were in Ferelden during the Blight. Did you fight Darkspawn?
No. I was stationed at Ferelden's Circle Tower. The Circle had troubles of its own. I remained there during the Blight.
What happened at the Circle Tower?
You who survived the Blight have fond memories of that time. I would prefer not to speak of it.
What was Kirkwall like?
While I was there, Canary occupied and then attacked the city. The Viscount's murder caused political unrest. Relations between mages and Templars fell apart, and a apostate blew up the Chantry, and the Knight Commander went mad. Other than that, it was fine.
I think that's probably like the events of the previous game. I tried to play Dragon Age 2, but it's just like really rough looking. I should watch like the story. Oh, I'm heading out, but I hope your romance call and goes well. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out.
What happened between Kirkwall's mages and Templars?
You were at the Conclave. You must have heard people speak of it.
Yes, but you were there.
There was tension between mages and Templars long before I arrived. Eventually, it reached a breaking point. There was fighting in the streets. Abominations began killing both sides. It was a nightmare.
What happened then?
The Templars should have restored order, but Red Lyrian had driven Knight Commander Meredith mad. She threatened to kill Kirkwall's champion, turned on her own men. I'm not sure how far she would have gone. Too far.
So you opposed her?
I stood with the champion against her, in the end. I should have seen through Meredith sooner.
I'll let you return to your work.
Another time, then.
Herald of Andraste. I've heard the stories. Everyone has. We know what you did at the breach. It's odd for a Dalish elf to care what happens to anyone else, but you'll get no backtalk here. That's a promise. Inquisition Scout Harding, at your service. All of us here, will do whatever we can to help.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
We should get to business. The situation's pretty dire. We came to secure horses from Redcliffe's old horsemaster. I grew up here, and people always said that Dennett's herds were the strongest and the fastest this side of the Frostbacks. But with the Mage Templar fighting getting worse, we couldn't get to Dennett. Maker only knows if he's even still alive. Mother Giselle's at the crossroads helping refugees and the wounded. Our latest reports say that the war's spread there too. Corporal Vale and our men are doing what they can to help protect the people, but they won't be able to hold out very long. You best get going. No time to lose.
Dispatch for you.
What is it?
This may be worthwhile. Nothing to report, sir.
Apostate! The apostates have fled to the hills.
Fine work out there.
Stronghold of the apostate mages. Let the fools in Redcliffe play the good mage as they always do. We know the truth. This world is ours to conquer, and every worthless peasant who threw a stone, every Templar who glared in disappointment at our harrowing deserves to know it. Follow the trail to the Witchwood and find your brothers. An unsigned letter to this scratched handwriting, almost too sloppy to read.
What's this?
Astrariums. Regarding your inquiry regarding the so-called Astrariums, there's a considered belief that these are relics from a cult that existed in the pre-Andrastian era of the Tevinter Imperium. Now, what would be considered a cult in a society that worshipped the old gods? An order of magisters who believed in the destruction of the Magisterium, the governing body of the Imperium that determines which mages are and are not given the Magister title. The members of this order wish to return to an earlier period where dreamers ruled, and evidence indicates they operated throughout Tevinter, though primarily in the frontier areas. They would lock away their secrets, caches of treasures, and perhaps even secret meeting places, though we have no way of knowing for certain. Unlockable only through knowledge of ancient astronomy, a practice that was, we understand, rather out of fashion in the late Tevinter period. According to our investigations, each of the astrariums could point to the secret cache if one knew the 3 constellations that mapped to each device present at the site. Connect the Dwarmers in the correct configuration and it will be revealed. Many of these relics are sought out by Andrastian cultists in the early Divine Age, the Order of Fiery Promise in particular, and destroyed. Why? Because they believed the Astrariums held together the Veil, and that destroying them would destroy the Veil and thus the world. Such is the way of cults of any kind that the true reasons for what they do can never truly be understood by modern minds. From a letter written by Magister Peladanus, head of the Corial Order 512 Exalted. Constellation Judex. Depicted as a downward-turned sword, the Constellation Judex is often called the Sword of Mercy in common parlance, even though the sword image was assigned to these stars long before Andraste's time. Judex refers to the concept of justice in ancient Tevinter, and the downturned aspect of the sword indicated a guilty verdict, which in those times generally translated to execution. Obviously, with its modern meaning and use as a symbol of the Templar Order, the old interpretation is frowned upon in scholarly circles. From a study of Theodosian astronomy by Sister Orin Petrarchius.
Weird. Where does this lead?
Weird.
another Inquisition scout. Elven woman, answers to Riggs.
I'll talk to you later.
Damn it, Riggs, where are you?
You said your friend hasn't reported back.
Well, she was supposed to be checking on some apostates. I'm on duty here, I'd go look for her.
I'll talk to you later.
Decent spot to camp.
Dispatch for you. I've news, sir.
What is it?
This could help us. A Templar, I believe.
I don't know how this will... letter found on a dead Templar. Alejandra, I don't know how this reached you, but with the last strength of my shaking hands, what else could I do but write you? Whether it be the magic of this cursed breach or the Maker punishing me for abandoning my vows, the end is coming. The terrors are with me more often than not. I came here to try to find some peace with these believers, but the platitudes they mouth are cold comfort. If my mind falls to demons or my own darkness, I fear that even a weakened Templar will cause too much harm. I took a draught of bitter herbs. It will be over soon. I wish my weakness had not stopped me from meeting you. With your phylactery, I knew just where you were, but the madness of your side and mine was too great a gap. Maker save you, stay safe. You need no circle, you carry it within you. Love, Metrin. Phylacteries. A phylactery is a vessel, often a glass vial, but containing the essence of a magical being. The circle of magi in the Chantry use small phylacteries filled with blood, taken from apprentice magi, to track down mages that turn apostate to flee the wrath of the Templars. Before an apprentice passes his harrowing, his phylactery is kept at his home circle tower. Phylacteries of first enchanters are stored in the White Spire and are Legion Circle in the Templar Order Stronghold. Vials belonging to legal yet powerful and controversial mages are kept in carefully hidden caches in remote locations. For anyone but a member of the Chantry, tracking one down is all but impossible, quite literally like finding a mule in a hay farm. Lies.
Torn open the sky.
When the demons have
I know
cleansed
you.
the unworthy.
They call you the Herald of Andraste for what you did at Haven. But are you? The Maker has not told me.
I am the Herald of Andraste.
And do you claim to hold power over the rifts the Maker has opened in the sky?
I can seal rifts, yes.
Then prove it. Show me that the rifts bend to your will, the will of the Maker. Show me the power you wield.
This cult, what are you doing out here? What is it you think is happening?
The Chantry has fallen, and shown its imperfection in doing so. The Chant of Light was a lie. It was arrogance to think that mortal lips could frame the Maker's will, and so we wait in silence. The Maker has opened the sky. Soon he will call his chosen back to the Golden City.
Until later.
Until the Maker brings you back to us.
I suppose it only natural that some would turn to worshipping the breach, if only in hopes of appeasing it.
Let's look around.
There are Inquisition soldiers even here. I told you we would be safe.
I'm not certain, my lady. We could still return to your family's estate.
No. There is nothing for me back there.
My lady, your mother... With your father's heart,
Bottle of Thetis. Bench 9, Rowan's Rose. Delicate to the nose, comfort to the tongue, and strangely half-remembered whisper to the ears. It is described that it inspires a wistful spirit, a vintage hopes.
Excuse me. While you were coming up, did you meet a young noblewoman with blonde hair and pale green eyes? Lady Venena should be here. We need to be together when the Maker comes.
Where would your friend be?
She is my love, and she should be here. I wrote to her weeks ago. I know the path on the hill is dangerous, but surely the mages and Templars would not trouble a young lady.
I'm sorry. I can't help you.
Please, if you meet my beloved, tell her I am waiting.
I hear rumors about what caused the explosion that killed the Divine.
Maker's tears. I was a fool to have doubted you. How may we serve you? Herald of Andraste.
Have your people helped the refugees?
As you say, Herald of Andraste. Some few will remain here, the rest will go forth to do your will. When the Maker calls you to your great purpose, remember that we served you.
bandits. They moved with the efficiency of a trained group. Since the Renegade Templars faced a mage of any talent.
Red lyrium, and a would-be miner, I believe. and the Templars has cost too many innocent lives.
Letter found my dead brother. I fled the circle, but I want no part of this mad rebellion. The Templars and my brethren have both gone mad, and their war has torn apart the very skies. Some of the other isolationists suggested fleeing, and I should follow their example. It's been too long since I saw you, and I cannot be safe in Haven. If you cannot make it past the bandits of demons, join me at grandmother's old home, northwest of the crossroads. With your blade and my staff, we can get through this together.
The breach isn't going to close itself. Indeed. The sooner we obtain help for the breach, the better.
What? Yeah. Alright, y'all. I've been having a great time playing, but I definitely need to go make some dinner. So, might come back on later. If not, I'll probably just play some more tomorrow. But yeah, I really enjoyed hanging out with everybody today and getting back into Dragon Age ahead of Dragon Age Veilguard, only 69 more days. Very happy Halloween ahead for us all. Alright, I will see you all the next time we stream.